Hello everyone, good day. I would like to introduce myself again. I am Sir Ced, your instructor. So for today, let's learn more about the natural law theory or the ethical theory of natural law. So natural law theory refers to the general view that the moral rules and principles are objective and universal truths can be discovered in the nature of things. So basically, no, natural law is a theory in ethics and philosophy that says that human beings possess intrinsic values that will govern our reasoning and behavior. So this law, no, maintains that these rules of right and wrong are inherent towards us human beings, no, that are not created by the society or court judges. So basically, like lahat ng organisms, human beings, no, living organisms in this world, hindi kasali yung mga artificial ones. Like for example, the oak tree, no, the seed, no, the seed will become an oak tree or a tree, no, or a mango tree. At a boy will become a man, di ba? A girl will become a woman, something like that. A girl will become a mother, something like that, di ba? Parang natural law yung order ng mga bagay, no? Yun yung nature natin. So, in this theory, there is also a perspective by Aquinas, no? Wherein he defined the natural law into four different types. These are the eternal law, natural law, human law, and the divine law. But focus tayo sa natural law. Okay, the master principle of natural law, according to Aquinas, no, Saint Thomas Aquinas, was that good is to be done and pursued, and evil should be avoided. No, yun yung nature dapat. Aquinas stated that the reason reveals particular natural laws that are good for humans, such as self-preservation, marriage, and family, and the desire to know God. So those are the natural law that should be inherent with us human beings, according to Aquinas. Okay, so again, this refers to the general view that the moral principles are objective and universal truths can be discovered only in the nature of things, the processes, no, the natural growth of things. We need to look into nature, the human nature, and ask what does it requires of us. Natural law refers to the laws that are built into nature of itself, of life itself. This can be equated nature as law and reason, which are immutable laws that exhibit rationality. So, everything has its own end or purpose, no? Like, for example, a person is born but will die. That is the natural processes of things, no? That is the nature of things. Everything has its own end or purpose, no? So, we live and we die. Okay. Cannot change the way things are, although it's fatalism talaga, no? These are the nature of things and it cannot be changed. This has first appeared on the Stoics, no, during the first century times. It was believed that human beings, no, have with them a divine spark that enables them to discover the essential eternal laws that govern the whole cosmos, no. Cosmos, it means the universe, that are necessary to attain the individual happiness and social harmony. Okay, so by the way, Stoics believe that human beings, yun nga, have them with them the divine spark, or what they call the logos spermaticos, or the rational seed or sperm. Okay? So they equated nature with law and reason and thought that what was important was to live a life in accordance to nature. Ayun, yun ang sabi ng mga Stoics. So this is referring now to the Aristotelian influence on natural law. Okay, so for Aristotle, no, during the 384 to 322 BC, has highly acknowledged as the greatest of all ancient philosophers, somehow following essentially the Stoics' particular way of thinking. He believes that everything that exists in nature serves some particular and specific purpose, and that was can never fully understand a thing or anything, in fact, for that matter, until we understand what it is for or what its purpose for. So everything that exists in nature has some particular and specific purpose that can never fully understand a thing until we understand what is the purpose of it. So it is built in nature, no? Every individual's substance has an intrinsic nature or principle of operation, more of a dynamic, no, teleological and specific purpose, okay, or goal that we wanted in life. So, yun yung purpose natin, to become a fully developed entity is to be itself. Basically, to follow the natural order of things. So, there's a concept also by Maslow, no? I think you know this. Self-actualization or self-realization is the very reason or purpose of anything, no? As we grow older, as we develop, no, we are moving closer to that self-actualization, wherein we highly respect ourselves already, we accept whatever we are, and we already know about ourselves fully. That is self-actualization. Our reason for being and existence is already clear to us. That is self-actualization. So the essence of the thing is an activity or something that the thing does, or the function that is accordance to the Aristotelian influence. So basically, the essence of the heart is to pump blood. Okay, yun yung function niya, no? So, human being is the essence of him or her is for growth and reproduction. Okay, so basically, yun yung purpose natin, di ba? Okay, yun yung kay Aristotle. Okay, let's move on to the basic and universal natural human inclination. This is according to St. Thomas Aquinas again. No, number one is for self-preservation and survival. So human being strives to preserve himself, no? Okay, so what that is, man has to preserve himself, his existence. So basically, we need to survive, we need to eat food, we need to sleep, take care of our body and our health. No, that is the universal law of self-preservation and survival. Number two is propagation of our species. This is to unite sexually to produce offspring for the continuance of the next generation of the human race. So just like any other species, diba, we need to have generations. We need to prolong or to reproduce, diba, in order for our species to propagate and to continue. Okay. Three is to live in peace and harmony with other men. So this means just to have a just and fair dealings with other people, no? So we need to be with other people in order for us to survive. Just like what they said, no man is an island. So therefore, we needed to live in harmony with other men as well. Four is to seek for truth and knowledge of the good. That is to use our intellect and will to know the truth and seek the good. So therefore, our main objective or our natural inclination is to do the highest good. Okay? Is to do what is really right. That is needed to be reflected from our intellect as well, which is, this serves as our fundamental basis of eternal happiness, no? Also with having a fair dealings with other people and to be with God, not to follow God. That is how we seek the truth and the knowledge of the good. Okay, these basic inclinations and tendencies are precisely put into human nature by an all-knowing and wise creator, no? To aid humans in the attainment of their final and ultimate end or goal, which is eternal happiness with God in heaven. So this is according to the beatific vision, no? This is according to St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay, so let's proceed to the central ideas of the natural law. So, everything in the world has its own reason or purpose. So, what we have right now, no, what's happening to us right now, it has a reason or purpose. This is quite general if we could analyze this, right? Number two is this reason or purpose is true, especially to human beings, since we have life stages and we have a higher complex mental processes, diba, of our thinking. We can think rationally, no? Our brain is more complex compared to other organisms, no? Therefore, the reason or purpose is much clearer to us, no? So number three is human nature has an essential rational nature. So because of our gift of reason, no, basically this helps us, no, to become more rational compared to other organisms. Number four, morality is governed by a law built into nature of man, as laws of nature also govern natural things. Okay, so basically, our morality, no, is governed by laws okay, which is in accordance also to the nature of man. How does man sees himself in the society, no? So also in line with that, no, there are also laws that are governed lang by the natural things, no? Yun yung fino-focus ng natural law, no? Na hindi siya artificial, not based from the artificial laws of mankind, but based from the law that is existing in the natural things. Five, man can know through the use of his reason what is in the accord with with his own nature, which is good. So man can know, no, through his or her own reason, no, he can identify ano ba yung magandang gawin, no, ano ba yung tama at saka yung mali, no, also by basing it from the nature flow, from the flow of the existence of nature, of or natural processes. Six, natural laws are universal and unchangeable and are the basis to judge individual cultures and societies with regard to their norms and practices. So, there are natural laws, no, in our cosmos, okay, which turned out, no, na yun talaga yung basis ng some people to judge, no? Sa culture, sometimes it can defeat the purpose of ethical relativism of other cultures in the society, no? Because sabi nga 'di ba, natural law is a universal law that every being should follow, no? All living things can follow, no? So it can defeat some ethical disciplines and theories like ethical relativism, deontological utilitarianism. It can defeat those proponents or those tenets under those laws. So, seven, moral laws which are based on the natural law have an objective validity. So, ibig sabihin, no, very objective ang pagtingin ng natural law sa mga bagay-bagay, no? There is no subjective view. Hindi siya kagaya ng ethical relativism na relative in nature. Therefore, moral law is objective and it is applicable for everyone, no? Walang bias-bias, walang because of this or because of that. It's not relative. 8. The first self-evident precept of the natural law is to do good and avoid evil. How can we know what is good and avoid evil? So, yun yung sinasabi ng mga philosophers like nila Aristotle. Okay, what does really good is? Ano ba talaga yung evil, no? So, yun yung sinasabi nila. So, can also be anchored on the basic and universal natural inclinations na pwede rin naman, which is discussed by Thomas Aquinas. So we could base what is good and evil from that perspective of St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay, let's move on to the specific principles under the natural law theory. Ito na. Okay, dito na yung mga theory natin, mga principles. The principle of double effect. Okay, so moral thinkers follow the doctrine of the natural law that are aware that there are certain complex situations wherein the morality of an act cannot be categorized into a definite and simple labeling of good and bad. There are situations in life wherein good and bad effects or consequences of an act are both present and unavoidable. So, there are instances wherein we are confronted, no, by certain dilemmas. Action intended must be good or neutral. Good effect must outweigh the evil effect or at least proportional. Evil effect should be a side effect lang. Evil effect must not be the means for the good effect to achieve. Like for instance, if you will do a particular action, like for instance, you say a promise to a friend and you say na you will not tell a secret, but because there is a risk like the person might commit suicide, then therefore you are abiding to the principle of double effect because you want, okay, that there must know that on which the good effect must outweigh the evil effect of telling this secret towards the authorities or someone like their parents or a medical practitioner or perhaps a psychologist. You have that obligation, no, to tell that towards the person even though na it will defeat the purpose, no, of being true to your friend, of being good, of not sharing and of abiding that promise. Okay, it just becomes a side effect for the evil effect, no, not to exist, no. It should outweigh the benefit. good effect should outweigh the evil effect. No, I think it is understandable naman. Principle of inviolability of life. Okay, so in this principle, no, the principle of the inviolability of human life springs from the religious belief that life, any human life, is of infinite value, as it is a sacred and precious gift from the Almighty Creator. So therefore, it should always, no, its worth outweighs everything in the world, including the life of the unborn or fetus. So every life, no, na-create na kahit na nasa loob pa yan ng mother, no, even though it's not born yet, but there is life already there, no, so it's still considered to be life, and it is valuable. It's still valuable compared to all life that exists in the human world, no. So everything that has life, it is valuable. Okay, next one is the principle of fortitude. Okay, so in this principle, the innocent person whose life is put in an extremely risk by an intruder, no? For example, na hostage ka, no? In this case, it can apply to the principle of fortitude as an act of self-defense. So, pwede mong protektahan yung sarili mo because we need always to go back on that natural inclination of self-preservation. Now, we need to keep ourselves healthy, safe, and of course to survive, 'di ba? So our action of, like for example, sinuntok mo siya because act of self defense, no, or for example, nabaril mo siya because he will kill you, no, if you will not shoot the person, no? Therefore it will justify the act. Okay, it's morally permissible to defend yourself even to the point of taking another life. Okay, it's not murder, though the act of killing is involved. Okay, that is a principle under the natural law. Another one is the principle of totality. Okay, this is view as the part of the human body that exists for the good of the whole. No, there is bioethical issue if particular organ needs to be cut or mutilated. Okay, should consider the general well-being of the person to continue living. Okay, so this, I believe, emphasizes the importance of the totality of the human body, no? Because human body, diba, we have this, the human life, and there is an ethical dilemma that concerns that we need that. For example, there is an operation that needs to mutilate a particular organ, like one arm or your finger or your hand, diba? So it's quite unethical to view. Then you will remove that particular organ in order for you, no, in order for you to somehow uh, to to survive, no, if pwede namang hindi siya tanggalin, no, it's ethical for you not to remove that organ na lang, no. So a traditional element in the biomedical discussions is this principle, which refers to the view that a part of the human body exists for the good of the whole, which is this principle is often invoked when a particular part or organ of the body has to be cut. So basically, the person is morally permitted to do this only insofar as the general well-being of the whole body requires it. So magiging ethical lang siya kung basically infection na siya, 'di ba? Or kapag naging ano na siya, hindi na siya maganda sa katawan, and it will it will cause harm to your body, and eventually you will die if it will not happen to you. So basically ganun, yun yung process niya, magiging justified lang yung action kung yun na yung risk, no, death or infection, or it will harm yourself, no, basically, no. Principle of stewardship naman. So the principle of of stewardship, okay, has its basis on the religious belief that all life comes from God, the supreme creator and maker of all. This would imply that there is no individual person could claim that he or she is the owner of anything in the world, and that his or her own body. So the body we have right now is not ours, but it's from our creator, from God. So basically ganon. So we have no right, no, to harm our body, but therefore we needed to take care of our body. We humans are only given the power to take good care of this creation, which is our body, and do not have sole authority to do whatever we want, like for instance to commit suicide, no, or to kill ourselves. No, it's not our right. We have no right of that because our body is created by by God. Okay, that is the principle of stewardship. Okay, so let's move forward to just war theory. The just war theory is a related principle and application of the principle of forfeiture. Okay, this is called the just war theory. The principle of forfeiture can be used not only to justify a particular individual self-defense, no? As like for example, hinostage ka, but also in the case of defending a whole country from an unjust aggressor like a foreign invader. So kung yung state na yung nakasalalay dito, like whenever a sovereign nation like the Philippines is threatened by another country, the Philippines can decide to go to war against another country. Though this may involve killing other people, di ba? Because of the war, no? The act is morally justified on the ground that the aggressor country has forfeited its right. So, na-break na ng other country yung right niya. Kasi inatake na yung Pilipinas, no? By launching an offensive war to an unsuspecting victim. Okay. So, basically, no, lawful authority, just cause, last resort, good intention, reasonable chances of success, and right use of means. These are some of the factors that needed to be considered, no, in order for you, no, to make this justified, in order for it to become a just war or a justified war, just in order for it to become justified, yung war na mangyayari. Okay, yun yung mga bagay na kailangang i-consider. Okay, let's move on to justified rebellion and revolution. Okay, punta tayo dito. Justified rebellion naman, okay, war is defined as a condition of armed and active hostility between two or more nations. Now, it is different and distinct from the act of rebellion since the latter is defined as an unlawful uprising of citizens against their government. Okay, this is where the coup d'etat, no, which is the mutiny or disobedience to lawfully constituted authority. So ito naman, kapag yung mga mamamayan or yung mga citizens, they want to uprise towards their current government, no, there are justified rebellions or revolutions that can happen, no, under siya sa CBC P of 1990. There are conditions that needed to be followed. Okay, let's discuss those conditions. Number one, when there is a clear and manifest long tyranny and oppression, that the basic and fundamental rights and dignity of the citizens has been already trampled on. So kapag nayurak na talaga yung rights ng mga mamamayan, and talagang ang haba-haba na yung suffering ng mga tao, and yung oppression, no, basically yung rebellion na yun ay magiging justified na. Okay, like tama na, panahon na para lumaban. Number two, when all peaceful and legal means to resolve the conflict had already been resorted and exhausted. So kapag yung lahat ng mga possible means of peaceful negotiations nagawa na, no, you already reached out already, no, all of those legal means have already been met, but still wala pa rin, hindi pa rin nagbabago. Wala pa rin pagbabago, no? There is still no peace at hand. So therefore, you know, it will become justified already to have that revolution. Third one, when there is a reasonable probability that the revolt will be a success. Okay, there are really, no, unnegatable talaga. May mga sacrifices, no? There are ano nga yung term nila? May mga sacrifices talaga na mangyayari, like for instance, some people might die because of this, no? Some people might lose their homes, their families, no? These contingencies. Okay, there might a lot or there can be possible probability na mawawala yung mga bagay sa kanila. So therefore, kailangan maging reasonable yung revolution or yung rebellion, no? Reasonable siya and measurable, no? Or tawag niyan balance siya. So this probability of the revolt must be successful. Ayun. So therefore, kailangan if you are establishing a particular revolution or a particular revolt, no? Therefore, there should be a high chance for it to become successful. Kasi may mga sacrifices siya, no? So there should be a reasonable probability that this revolt will be a success. Fourth one, when the goal to be achieved is well proportionate or of the same weight to the damage that could be inflicted. So, kapag proportional naman yung consequence, yung weight ng pwedeng maging damage because, di ba, for example, rebellion kayo, syempre, hindi mawawala yung mga war, yung mga barilan, yung mga engagement, di ba? So, there are a lot of risks that can happen. So, it should be well proportionated from which kailangan yung weight niya, no, it should be proportional or kailangan mas maliit yung damage kaysa sa benefit. Okay? You get what I mean? Kailangan mas lesser yung risk compared to the benefit that one can achieve, no? From that revolt. Fifth one, the decision to wage a violent revolt against the government should come from the majority and not just from a few private individuals. So, this should be not only just for a single person. Hindi lang siya dapat sa isang tao, but sa kalahatan. No? Majority of the person wants to have a rebellion. For it to become justified, no, it should come from the majority of people. The decision should be from the majority of the individuals in a society. Okay? So, here are the strengths of the natural law. So, I will not be reading this, no? Just take note of this one. I will be giving you the PowerPoint slides for this. I hope you can review the strengths of the natural law for you to differentiate it to the other ethical disciplines we have. And that's the end of my presentation, everyone. I hope you've learned something and see you soon.